What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. This is episode 9 of Snowfall. Last week we had the wedding of Auntie Louie and Jam and Jerome. And this is where we started to see everyone start to part ways and figure out what they're actually going to do heading in towards this episode and into the finale. Now the last thing we seen was Buckley pulling up on Kane. Now we know that they were supposed to be working with Kane through Leon. But what did Louie do? She went behind the whole crew's back and told Buckley, I need you to get rid of him. So that's what we're going to pick up today. But before we jump into this, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, when I tell you we jump straight into action this week, that's exactly what we do. We don't need no more talking from me. So let's jump into it. This is episode 9 of Snowfall.
FX's Snowfall.
I told you we jumped straight into action, and what we see here is Buckley pulled up on Kane last week. And this week, as soon as they hop out the car, they get to firing. Now, you remember during the trailer, they said that there was an officer down. Well, Buckley has to explain what happened, and his words are, they pulled up because they got word that there was dope being sold out of the pool hall. And as soon as they got there, they said the assailants started shooting. But what we really see is, as soon as Buckley got out, he started shooting at Kane. He actually chased Kane down into an alley and shot him in his back a couple of times. Now, his official statement is, while he was running, I told him to stop, and he turned around and was firing at me. So that's what gave him probable cause to shoot him in the back. But Buckley was lying, and it turns out his officer partner is down. Remember I told you he may have brought somebody with him. And then Kane isn't dead. He's still hanging on. They took him to the hospital. Leon pulls up to Franklin. Now you got to remember the relationship between these two. They're like brothers, but there's some things Leon doesn't agree with. He just always been on Franklin's side no matter what. But what he does is he comes up and he tells Franklin, have you heard about what happened? Yeah, that guy Buckley, he shot at Kane. He's in surgery right now. Auntie Louie went behind our back. We made a deal with Kane and this is what she did. Now, Franklin, he hears this, and I mean, he's thinking how the streets think. What do you want me to do? I can't go tell Louie and Jerome what to do, just like I can't tell you what to do. But the thing is, Leon is saying, we all agreed that I was going to work directly with Kane, and if it didn't work out, I would be the one to get rid of him. But now they did this, it's messing up everything. Leon doesn't want to kill any more black people. Franklin is looking at it, man, this is the streets. This is what we got to do. That's what Louie and Jerome want to do. I can't fix this. So Leon doesn't like what he hears, and he sees the book that he gave Franklin, and he notices, you ain't even read this book, man. So basically what that was indicating was, Franklin, you ain't been keeping it real with me like I have with you. Jam and Jerome and Auntie Louie. Now, you know, they up in the hotel because they just had the marriage and the wedding went down. Well, they didn't go down as planned because, you know, Scully messed that up. But they're talking about word of Kane may have got out because you know that Louie is the one that set everything up. And Jerome is just like, hey, it is what it is. But she's saying, I wish I could stay in bed all day. You know, the streets never stop. So Jerome is saying, yeah, let's go ahead and extend the hotel stay out till Wednesday and then we'll go on a trip. But she's like, where are we going? And he doesn't tell her, but she does get a page. Now, this is probably Leon paging her because he wants to talk straight to her because Franklin isn't going to do anything about it. You know how it is when you got to go meet your boss. Now, I can only imagine how it is to go talk to your boss when you know you messed up. You shot at a few people and your partner got hit. Well, of course, whenever this happens, you need to give an official statement and they need to draw your blood to see if you were under the influence. And right now, Buckley, you're suspended pending the results of this test. Now, we know that Buckley, he's in the club, aka Redbone. That's not Buckley in the club. That's Redbone hitting them lines. I'm talking, well, he was probably coked up. And of course, a defense mechanism kicks in when they say we need to do a blood test on you. He's like, why? Because I ain't no 6'2" white guy and I won't say yes, sir, and shine your shoes. The boss said, no, it's because you shot somebody and somebody was killed and I want answers. So Buckley, he's in a tight situation. Now, Buckley's talking about, I need my union rep. I need my lawyer. Well, let me tell you something. You can get all of them, but if you refuse to take this blood test, then it becomes a criminal matter. So we need your gun. We need your badge. Yeah, that's how they do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to play by the rules. They have other rules that'll lock your butt up. Because normally when someone declines all this, they were in the wrong. Franklin and Veronique, they're kind of talking about the wedding, but of course Franklin doesn't want anything to do with it. He just wants to get about the city because it's getting hot. Now, Sissy, she is meeting up with her connect. You remember he was at the wedding. Now, he was saying they could have got more information at the wedding if Sissy would have kept her cool. But you got to remember, everybody was under the influence of whatever drug, LSD, that Scully put in the chocolate. Now, he done shaved off his beard because he wants to be inconspicuous, especially after a lot of people may notice him from being at the reception last night. So he's telling Sissy, we need more information because if not, the CIA is going to get you. And she's saying, well, how can I even believe that you're going to do what you're going to do? He said, trust me. Because if not, I'd have you living like you were when you was in Cuba. So she needs to give up information, but she still wants to protect Franklin from getting tied up in all of this whenever they come down to try to kill Teddy. And I understand that you want to protect your family, but you also want to get him out the game. Teddy goes to meet up with Avi. Now we know that him and Dr. Nasty, aka Presser, they've been getting close to each other. Now they show up, and you know Avi's a ladies' man, so he's talking to her, basically saying anything you want to hear, oh, you can have it. But now let's get down to business. Teddy is talking to Avi, and Avi says, last night we were all drugged by some LSD, but this time it wasn't by me. Now Teddy, we know that he needs more weapons. Every time we need him, he needs more and more of everything, dope, guns. And he's saying, I need 3 times the weapons. Can you handle that, Avi? But what Avi is saying is, after this, are we going to do more business? I don't want this to be the last business transaction, but I can get the guns for you. And Avi's like, all right, cool. If the money is there, you'll get it. So Teddy, he wants to fund this war. And if he can, he's going to do everything in his power because that's really what he wants to do. He's not really even worried about the dope. Leon shows up to the hospital to see what's going on with Kane. Now, he does know what actually happened, but he didn't want anything like this to happen. That's why he was the one that made the deal with Kane. Well, it turns out Kane, he's still alive, but a bullet hit his spine and he's probably never going to walk again. Now, one of the guys there, he's asking Leon, did you know anything about this? Or was it just cops being cops? And of course, he feels a little bit guilty because it was from his organization, but he didn't have anything to do with it. Officer Buckley shows up to his baby mama house and all he wants to do is see his kids. But by now the word has got out, he done shot somebody. Now, she's not going to let him see the kids because she knows he's high or something. But all he is a loving black father trying to get in the household and see his kids one last time before he goes away for murder. But she said, you know what? Whenever they find whatever drug was in your blood system, I'm going to make sure you never see your kids again because this is what I do for a living. Lock people up and keep them away from their kids. Damn, Redbone, your back's against the wall now. We see Auntie Louie stuffing the duffel bag with them big face hunnets. And guess who shows up? Leon, because he needs to talk to her about what happened. And he's asking her, this is how you moving? And what she tells him is, look, that had to be done. Kane could only be trusted for so long. Y'all killed his brother. He was going to come back. Now, what she does tell Leon is, you think it's hard being a black man? Try for 5 minutes being a black woman in this world. And I wanted to ask Auntie Louie, how was 5 minutes of being a black man with Kane when this man just got shot in his back by a black woman? So right now it looks like it's a little bit easier to be a black woman than it is to be a black man, because when you got shot at, it wasn't life threatening. But that's neither here or there. But Leon says, look, this didn't need to happen, but I hope you're prepared for everything that's going to go on moving forward. But I didn't tell nobody you did this because I don't want no blood on my hands. Our man Franklin, he done put Veronique in the plane. We flying off. She getting a little, a little sick up there from the turbulence and everything. He's like, well, go ahead and throw up in your bag. She's like, not this bag, Negro. But he lands the plane and we're somewhere exotic. They say the beach is a very common place. Now, Franklin, he's out here and he's telling Veronique that, I'm a bad man. I do bad things. But this is the life and I haven't been honest with you. Now, she goes into a story and she explains that when she was growing up, she actually killed a man also. Now, something that happened to her mother. She left a man dead in a hotel room. Her mom cleaned her up. They left the country. So she's saying sometimes, Franklin, we got to do things. but I also went to law school and moved past that. I met a man in LA, Franklin, and I believe that you wanted out the game. I know you were a killer, but Franklin's saying, what if it's too late? She's saying, well, you better win while you can then. We know that Auntie Louie's plan has always been to work directly for Teddy, but Franklin didn't want that to happen because of exactly what we see right here. Now, she's making a drop, and we know that Teddy is very cautious with everything going down, especially after the drive-by. So he tells her, look, where's Jerome at? I don't do any deals unless Jerome is here. No security, none of that. The only person that can show up is Jerome. And she's saying, well, he won't be making any of these drops. And Teddy said he will from here on out. But he also lets her know, listen, go have fun on your honeymoon, but make sure you're back in time for the next drop. And before you tell Franklin that you're working directly with me, let me know, because he knows Franklin is going to be upset about it. Now, Gustavo, he doesn't really say much, but also knows a little bit about everything that's going on. He asked Teddy, do you think it's really good to split up family like this? That could be a blood war. And Teddy's like, oh man, Franklin ain't gonna do nothing. But one thing Oso knows about hanging with Franklin, yeah, he's gonna handle some business. And especially if he doesn't know this and he's already told you that he didn't want you working with the family, this is gonna be bad. But Oso also has some loyalty towards Franklin, especially from everything that happened with the tiger. This man went from Officer Buckley to Redbone to Junkie Man. Now this dude's in the street talking about, let me get 20. They like, nah, man, we know you police. Get out of here. He's like, I ain't no police, man. Give me the rock. He pulls his gun out talking about, y'all gonna give me that rock or y'all gonna see this man's head get blown off. Everyone's looking like, hey, man, it ain't that serious. They give him that rock. Man, Officer Buckley, a.k.a. Redbone, a.k.a. Junkie Man. Hey, this is rock bottom for him, bro. There ain't no coming back. Leon pulls up on Wanda. Now, you remember, he was telling her last night, I want to be with you. I want to go travel, leave the States for a little bit, Europe or Africa. And he said he meant everything. He was thinking clearly. Now, Wanda, she's talking about her job and how, you know, she might lose it. He's saying it'll be there, but you're the only girl I ever loved. Now, that's fine and dandy. My only thing is, once a crackhead, always a crackhead. You can clean up, but once you cross that line, there's no more, tell me again. Will we be lovers or friends? It would just be friends in my book. There's no way me and a crackhead are going to be together. We haven't seen much of our boy Jam and Jerome, but here he's talking to Louie about Officer Buckley. Now, he's saying, what we going to do about that? You think he's going to come up here? She's like, nah, but we've been putting in a lot of work. And if we got to get rid of one cop and get another one, then so be it. Now, our lovely assistant comes up and she's like, he's downstairs. So they're supposed to be meeting with Franklin, but they don't want to talk to him up in the room just for the simple fact that they know that he knows they sent Buckley, a.k.a. Redbone, a.k.a. Junkie Man, to go do that. So they want to talk to him downstairs where Franklin probably can't yell or be as mad. And this is exactly why I said they wanted to meet Franklin in the more public area than up in the room. Now he's congratulating them on the marriage and she's like, oh, thanks. But now she goes and tells him, yeah, we get our dope directly from Teddy. This gets Franklin upset because she went behind his back again. And now the reason that this is bad is because 90% of his work he sells to them from Teddy. But now that they're doing it, all he has is 10%. And they're like, well, we expanded and this country is big enough for all of us. We go to St. Louis, Little Rock. Well, this expansion idea was Franklin's, but they were the ones that actually went and made it happen. You remember Jerome didn't like being out there in the country. Now they said, we'll give you one territory in LA. So now he probably only makes 15% of everything that he was making. But he tells Louie, you wanted to be up front? Now you got it. You know, Franklin is hurt about this, and them pockets is hurting even more. Louie and Jam and Jerome, they're getting ready to go on their little honeymoon. So they're leaving Shell in charge of the club. And I'm like, man, Shell, I might have to come pull up on you, you know what I'm saying? But she's like, I can handle all of it. Louie just wants to make sure everything is in order before she leaves. Because you got to remember, she's about to become a queen pin. Buckley shows up to the office. He wants the rest of that money. And he's telling Louie, look, I need that money because they about to get me up off the force. and I ain't got nothing else to do. And she's like, look, you got connections within the police force. That's all that matters. So that means you're valuable to me. And what she's saying is use them and get to a position, because I'm going to give you a full-time job. I just told you she's about to become a queen pin. So she's going to need all the help she can get. Now, if Bucky can get clean and he can work and try to figure this out, then this would be beneficial to her, because once she starts rising up in the ranks, if you got police officers, he can bring in more dirty cops, and now you can have that inside protection. So Buckley is looking at it like, this might be the financial gain that I need, and I won't lose my kids. Sissy's connect, the one that's supposed to take down Teddy, yeah, well, he just stumbled onto something he may not have been prepared for. Now, you remember he was at the actual reception. So he's seen Avi, he's seen Franklin, he's seen everybody that's a part of this whole organization. Now, they break into Avi's spot because he's the guns runner and they're trying to get some information. Avi comes out with that stainless and he's like, I know you. He shoots his partner and now they get to tussling. Now, Avi, he gets one of them, but unfortunately, he ends up losing the overall fight. Now, I don't know if Avi is dead or not. He may just be knocked out. But this is all bad because Teddy's going to need those guns. And with Avi out of the whole situation, the picture's looking a little dim. All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat this last scene. We're getting straight to it. Franklin meets up with Teddy. And he's talking to Teddy. Hey, I apologize about that phone call. I was under the influence of some drugs. Teddy was like, oh, it's all right. But my family didn't understand what bombshell was about to happen. And what he's talking about is Louie teaming up and going behind Franklin's back to work with Teddy. So with all of this, Franklin tells Teddy, I made you $56 million over 3 years. I've been shot at, kidnapped, robbed, beat, imprisoned. I quit. There will no longer be any business between you and I. Some white kid from Kansas, some kid from LA, we made history, but he's out the game. One thing we know though, Franklin is always thinking 2 steps ahead. So him getting out the game, he got his money, he got his girl, he got a baby on the way. He's probably about to work with his mom to get Teddy knocked off. And if I can't win, no one can win. All right, there you go. Snowfall episode 9. Let me know what you think. With Franklin actually bowing out the game, how is this going to work for Teddy and Louie moving forward? Also, what is Leon and our girl Wanda actually going to get into? Because it looks like everyone's trying to go their own separate ways. And Buckley, hey man, you got a job. Let me know what you guys think. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.